What up guys, Miguel here of YugaTech, and welcome to a new episode of YugaTech Revisits, our segment that takes us through a nostalgic journey visiting old gadgets and gizmos that shape today's consumer technology landscape. In this episode, we're strolling down memory lane and we're shining a spotlight on a device that has stood the test of time, the smartphone that played a big part in putting the Android operating system on the map and challenged Samsung to revise their ideologies in smartphone design language and build the HTC One M7. Back in 2013, when the HTC One M7 made its debut, it turned heads with its revolutionary design. I mean, look at these capacitive home and back buttons. These were so cool to have back in the day, coming from T9s and QWERTY keyboards like from a BlackBerry. And I remember this volume rocker on the right side of the device. I used to pop them off whenever I wanted to open up the smartphone. I don't really know why I was opening up the smartphone. I just knew I could. Could just pop the display panel off. It was great. Overall, the HTC One M7 is crafted with absolute precision. This smartphone features a sleek aluminum body, a 4.7-inch Full HD display, and dual stereo speakers with HTC Boom Sound technology. At this time, stereo speakers were something nobody really cared about or were thinking about, and HTC pioneered featuring front-facing dual stereo speakers on their flagship smartphones for amazing audio immersion, which really set it apart from other flagship devices released in the same year. Of course, it even featured a 3.5mm audio jack here at the top, and even some co-branding with Beats, which has been smudged off the back of this unit through wear with time. This was 2013, where Apple had not acquired Beats as of yet, and at the bottom of the device is nothing but a micro USB port for charging and data transfers. The HTC One M7 features a 4.7-inch Super LCD3 display with a resolution of 1080 by 1920 pixels. And man, oh man, was this display a showstopper in 2013. I actually thought this unit's battery was dead, but Jose was able to boot this thing up without it having to be plugged into like a power bank or something. So yay! And honestly, it still holds up in 2023. It may not boast the high refresh rates we see today, nor the vibrant colors and superb contrast from a new AMOLED panel, but this HTC One M7 proves that a well-calibrated display can so far stand the test of time. And it even features Corning Gorilla Glass 2 protection. Gosh, I remember telling myself back then that this size display was perfect, and I never wanted anything bigger than this. Things have quite changed. But I mean, the lock button is literally still on top of the device, and before I forget to mention, it also doubles as an IR blaster. I remember turning off so many TVs at school without a remote and without anyone knowing, of course, back in 2013. It totally made me feel like a hacker man. Fun times. For cameras, the HTC One M7 features a 4-megapixel UltraPixel camera. Back in 2013, HTC introduced UltraPixels. They kept marketing it as great cameras don't need huge megapixel counts to take good photos. The UltraPixel sensor has a pixel size of 2.0 micrometers, which is larger than the normal pixel size of 1.0 to 1.4 micrometers. This allowed more light to reach the UltraPixel sensor. In theory, this wasn't wrong, since even today, it's widely known that lower megapixel sensors from mirrorless cameras usually handle capturing pictures and video in low light better. And the HTC One M7's UltraPixel camera paired with optical image stabilization captured stunning low light shots. Till, of course, it overheated. After a while, a number of HTC One M7 users began to notice an odd bug with the camera hardware. It would overheat. I personally was affected by this, that when using the HTC One back in 2013 to 2014, the camera would tend to perform less than optimal when it started to heat up. Eventually, I believe the sensor itself overheated, and while it could still function, it would cloud the picture preview in a green or more commonly pink hue. You'd actually see that from the shots taken as well, which led to shots like this Now, I'd love to show you, the people, some samples taken with this 10-year-old smartphone camera, but as of recording this video, I'm not sure if I'll be able to. Just earlier, I tried to take some sample shots with this unit, and the moment I decided to turn on the flash to take a photo, right after that first shot and that flash, bloop, the whole phone just died. But hey, maybe I just gotta leave it charging a bit longer. Either way, if there are sample shots, check them out. But if there are none, we just let this play out and abruptly cut the brains behind the HTC One M7's operation. Whoa, now you guys can see how past I am. Look at that. This matte anodized black aluminum finish was really nice and cold to the touch when you came from a cold room. But what a fingerprint magnet. Oh my god. The brains behind the HTC One M7's operation is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 600 processor, and while it may not be the latest and greatest, it definitely held its own in 2013 up to like 2016 when I upgraded to the HTC One M10. It did that with 2GB of RAM, keeping everything fine and dandy with configurations of 32 or 64GB of internal storage, expandable via a microSD card. Combine that hardware with the software, which really got me drinking that HTC Kool-Aid for a while. It shipped with Android 4.1.2 or Jelly Bean, which I later upgraded to Android 5 or Lollipop. All that was quietly made brilliant with HTC's interface known as HTC Sense. The latest version on the One M7 was Sense 5. HTC Sense is the interface that got me madly in love with Android and HTC. From carousel swiping through the home screen to Blink feed, which if you think about it paved way for the Bixby feed and Google Search News feed thing on more current devices. So basically it would display recommended news articles to you, or was it through subscribing to RSS channels and feeds? Either way, you could do that too. Wait, check out my iPhone. I found this cool widget that makes the clock look like one of the ones from HTC Sense. Bam, look at that. Look at that thing. Totally HTC. Right there. Let me show you this, friend. Look at that. Is that crazy? It's so crazy how someone still loves this clock widget style so much. It's on the phone of today, an iPhone. I'm pretty sure the HTC guys who designed that clock widget would call it quietly brilliant. I also really love the default HTC email app too. Samsung's one is pretty good too though. Overall, this software really gets me on a nostalgic trip, but can you use this today? No, you cannot. And support for this is pretty much not there anymore, and I'm positive this hasn't gotten a security update since 2015. Either way, for battery, the HTC One M7 features a 2300 mAh battery. It's kind of a bit to keep on, but interestingly, it still does hold a charge. Thanks, Jose. But also, if I wanted to refurbish this device, I found all the parts I need, which would be a battery and maybe the new housing, all on Shopee for less than 3,000 pesos. But again, I wouldn't recommend this for use today. When Jose revived this phone to boot, the moment I connected it to the office Wi-Fi, it started to just tell me, hey bro, nice to see you again. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why'd you turn on the Wi-Fi? It started to lag so much. And I bet you can't even access the most updated Google Play Store on this, so there's that too. Anyways, so there you have it, folks. The HTC One M7, a smartphone with a build that can seemingly stand the tests of today. Seemingly. A smartphone that paved the way for some features we miss and take for granted today, like an IR blaster and a 3.5mm audio jack. And it's a good reminder that innovation, whether in design or features, blended in with practicality, are definitely what the people want. Can you imagine? Samsung didn't even have an aluminum body flagship smartphone till after this guy was released. Wild times. They even have Pocket Marty. I had Pokemon Go on this thing. But hey, what are your thoughts on the HTC One M7? Did you own one? Did you want one? Did you get one of the other ones after the M7, like the M8, M9, or like the M10, which eventually I got? Let us know in the comments section below. But if you enjoyed this video or found it informative, nostalgic, or fun, be sure to smack that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that bell icon so you get notified of our future uploads. Be sure to visit YugaTech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Don't forget to follow us on our socials, whether that be Instagram, Facebook, X, or TikTok. Once again, this has been Miguel. This has been the HTC One M7. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, and